Hello and welcome to On Point. I'm Kartikeya Sharma. Today we have 3 on points lined up for you. In On Point 1, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi prepares to overtake Jawaharlal Nehru as India's longest-serving democratically elected Prime Minister, the battle over legacy is back, foundation versus transformation. In On Point 2, Annamalai 2.0 poster sparks political storm. BJP says there is no resignation, no rift, no new party. But in Tamil Nadu politics, the speculation is far from over. In On Point 3, India's biggest ever Captagon seizures has triggered serious security concerns. The so-called jihadi drug is linked to terror financing, conflict zones and global crime networks. Is this just a narcotics bust or warning of a new threat facing India? And now, let's take a quick look at the headlines. Malviya Nagar bed and breakfast owner Lavkesh Bajaj sent to 4-day police custody. Police is currently on the lookout for the hotel manager, Jai Mishra. NEET aspirant Akanksha Chaturvedi dies by suicide in Nagpur after being distressed over NEET paper leak. Student leaves behind a suicide note saying she does not have the strength to re-attempt the exam. Major scam unearthed as SEBI, the securities market regulator, flags rupees 15.15 trillion revenue misrepresentation by the jewellery group Rakesh Exports. SEBI reveals that 97 to 99% revenues came from unverified foreign subsidiaries. Israel and Lebanon agreed to implement a conditional ceasefire to end hostilities in West Asia war. Conditions include complete cessation of fire by Hezbollah militia in Lebanon. And cracks in India alliance as DMK boycotts alliance meet on June 8th. DMK will also sit far away from Congress allies in Lok Sabha. Today we speak about something that no other channel is speaking about. Our Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to cross a major political milestone. On June 10, 2026, he will surpass Jawaharlal Nehru as the India's longest continuously serving democratically elected Prime Minister. Nehru served 4,398 days after the first elected Lok Sabha, while Modi reaches 4,399 days from May 26, 2014. But the debate is not just about numbers, it is also about legacy, leadership and the India shaped by two very different eras and two different Prime Ministers. Jawaharlal Nehru led a newly independent India, still finding its feet after partition and freedom. Narendra Modi leads India, which is vastly different, larger, digitally connected and fiercely politically competitive. From population size to media scrutiny, from regional parties to social media accountability, the scale of governance has changed completely. The democratic challenge today is far bigger than it was in 1950s. India's first general election saw 53 parties. By 2024, the number had grown to 744. The electorate too has expanded from around 17 crore voters to the hundreds of millions. So the question is simple: is today's leadership challenge for tougher than the Nehruvian era? Nehru's era focused on building the foundation of a new republic. Modi's era has been about scale, speed and delivery. From highways to digital payments, from welfare transfers to global economic ambition, the nature of the governance has shifted from state-led control to citizen-facing execution. Foreign policy too has seen a dramatic shift. Nehru's India spoke the language of non-alignment. Modi's India follows multiple alignment, which is called multi-engagement, multi-alignment. That engages US, Russia, Europe, the Gulf and the global South at the same time. The debate is whether India today has more global leverage than it did in Nehru's era. The debate is ultimately about legacy. While Nehru may have built the foundation of modern India, but it is Prime Minister Modi who has transformed India at scale and under far tougher democratic scrutiny. A lot of experts are of the view that India under Prime Minister Narendra Modi is the second republic. Modi has broken the centrality of Nehruvian socialism to cultural nationalism. Article 370 has been repealed and Uniform Civil Code is becoming reality in number of states. Temple exists in Ayodhya, and Hindu nationalism is at the center of political life, and it is not at the fringe anymore. So the big question is, does Modi surpassing Nehru in days also mark a larger political and historical shift? The story is also about how things have changed under Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Under Prime Minister Narendra Modi, there has been a massive transformation. There is an infrastructure transformation. If I have to quote, under Prime Minister Narendra Modi, there has been a transformation of governance. Under Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the scale of democracy, rise in political competition, one-party dominance versus federal politics, all have taken a different dimension. For example, India first had 17 crore voters. By 2014, it expanded to 83 crore voters, making the exercise very big. Expanded global engagement, governance under real-time scrutiny. These are the political milestones of Prime Minister Modi. For example, in Nehru's time, he established 5 IITs, Kharagpur, Mumbai, Madras, Kanpur in Delhi, and 1 AIIMS in Delhi. Under Prime Minister Modi's, IITs increased from 16 to 23, IIMS from 13 to 21, and AIIMS from 7 to 22. Now, for example, under Jawaharlal Nehru, there were 3 to 4 ministers who were scheduled castes, scheduled tribes none, and other backward classes 0. Under Prime Minister Modi, other backward classes constitute 27% of the ministers, scheduled castes have and Dalits are 10, and scheduled tribes are 5. There are more women in the cabinet. The transition from mere 4.4%, 22 MPs in 1952, to 13.63, 74 MPs in 2024 is also a major achievement. Prime Minister Modi is also India's longest serving head of state. He has been in power from 2001 onwards. From 1951 to 1961, national highway expansion was stagnant. It added 3,987 kilometers. Under Prime Minister Narendra Modi, connectivity addition between 2014 and 2024 was 91,287 kilometers. I can just go on. So these are the changes which Prime Minister Modi, for example, World Heritage Sites under PM Nehru was 0. Prime Minister Modi is 44. Total fertility rate at that point of time was 5.9. Under Modi, it's 2.0. National parks under Prime Minister Nehru, 4 foundational parks like Corbett were 4. Under Prime Minister Modi, it's 107, covering 5.32% of India's land. Tiger reserves, 0. Prime Minister Modi, 58. Let me straight away go to Smita Mishra, senior journalist. Smita, very important milestone on 10th of June. Very important milestone for the Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
I agree with you.
I think there's a bit of a problem with your voice, Smita. We'll come back to it. We'll get it corrected. So let me take my viewers again. So what is happening? I spoke about the fertility rate. I spoke about the demographic development. I spoke about the UNESCO World Heritage Site. I spoke about the Ramsar wetland. I spoke about the Tiger Reserve. I spoke about many other developments that were not there when Prime Minister Nehru took the reins. And this is a very important development. And I would again say that Modi has surpassed Nehru in every aspect. And this is going to be a historic development. And this historic development will be celebrated in a very big way. This historic development will also tell us about how Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been able to transform governance, how Prime Minister Modi's legacy is going to be far bigger. So Modi's foreign policy, Modi's commitment, ideological commitment, has remained unwavered. So I would say that in a way, this shift has been historic. He is the first non-Congress Prime Minister with 2 majority terms. And I am also joined by Professor Badri Narayan Tiwari, Vice Chancellor at TIS. Thank you, sir. And I will also be joined by Smita Mishra. There is a bit of a problem. Historic day on June 10th.
Yes, you are asking to me,
Yes,
Karthikeya?
yes.
Indeed, it's a historic day because you rightly said that PM Modi has surpassed Nehru in all senses, in many senses. Like it's a non-Congress Prime Minister for 2 consecutive terms and also doing 3rd term very successfully, implementing all the policies. And one thing is very interesting, Karthikeya, that what is the difference between PM Modi and Nehru? That Modi is the first Prime Minister of India who thinks about future. You can see if you see listen the lecture and read the write-ups, articles of the books of the Nehru, you or any Prime Minister in India, you can't find word future in their discourses. But PM Modi first time brought future in the discourse, and he planned future for 2047 India, the kind of Viksit Bharat in the Bharat, and also 1,000 years of India. So future is very crucial in imagining the India of in the imagination of PM Modi, and future always link us with the past. So past to future. First thing. Second thing is democracy is deepening, as you said. OBC, Dalits, in big numbers become part of the governance and the politics, which was not the case of in the Nehru time. And third is the project which Mahatma Gandhi had initiated of decolonizing India. That project couldn't run well during the Prime Minister Nehru, although he has made all the many institutions in India. He has done wonderful work. But that this project of decolonization could not move well. PM Modi again tried to re-explore this space of decolonizing India, and you must have seen his Panch Pratigya, Panch Pran in that decolonization, exploring your roots, and through roots you can imagine or reconstruct your future. India is a global power. You have rightly said the 4th largest economy, 3rd largest economy we are going to become in future. So we are, and our dignity and the prestige and the honor has increased all over the world. So in that way, democracy is deepening. Future came in the discourse, planning the India's future for longer time, of the long planning. Earlier we had a 5 years planning in Nehru's time. Now we have long planning. There's a continuum of development, continuum of change. So that kind of things are happening, Karthikeya. So in that way, it's very historic. And the marginal community, poor, everyone is progressing. There's a constant mobility from bottom.
Okay, so basically you are saying that decolonization process has underwent under Prime Minister Modi. I am also joined by the input editor of News9, Brijesh. Brijesh, what do you think in context of Prime Minister outpacing Nehru's record as the longest serving democratically elected Prime Minister on June 10? What do you think is the biggest contribution?
Well, there are several, fronts on which Prime Minister Narendra Modi has contributed and contributed pretty significantly. I think one of the biggest contribution is that, after a long 3 terms of political instability, I think, from 2014 till as right now, as we are talking, he brought a great degree of political stability as far as India is concerned. As Professor wisely pointed out, there's an upward mobilization of castes and, a whole segment of people who were hitherto, not participative in the upward economic movement as far as the country is concerned. That was there, providing a largesse or providing food and other things to almost 80 crore Indian and being able to carry out and the respect of the country, which we have seen the kind of aggressive foreign policy which has been practiced by Prime Minister is also one of the key features of his 10 plus year of rule as the Prime Minister of this country.
Also, do you think that he has been able to transform the governance and the sort of work which the government in terms of scale, aims, IITs, national parks, things which are counted as numbers, infrastructure, road, exponentially expanded under Prime Minister Modi?
Well, I would say that yes, we have seen an upward tick, but if we say that it's a completely transformed from what it was in 2014 to what it is in on 2026, I would say that yes, there's an upward tick of the kind of work which has been carried out, the kind of infrastructural boost it has given. But I mean, jury is out on that because there are many who believe that that you have seen cosmetic changes of the Lutyens Daily, you would say, and other infrastructural projects and all. But they're saying that when it comes to institutes of learning, when it comes to founding university that stand apart and is counted as one of the best in the world, people, his critics feel that that is one area where the government has not delivered what it has said. There have been many airports, critics point out, airports and many new universities which have been opened up, but they have not kind of become the cultural or the center of excellence which we have seen many previous universities be. So this is one area where there's a lot of criticism as far as the Prime Minister's tenure is concerned.
Okay. Professor Badri Narayan, can we say it's a second republic under Prime Minister Modi?
Yes, indeed. This is a very nice term which you have given, Second Republic. And governance became more and more democratic. So democratizing governance and opening governance for everyone. So less governance and the more delivery, that kind of thing. So the question which you asked to Rajesh about the governance, what I observed that PM Modi has a little contribution is to evolve capacity to aspire among the most marginal of Indian society. Capacity to aspire and then capacity to acquire. And also he delivered schemes, programs, projects to supplement the aspiration of the people. So in that way, he has done wonderful work in creating mobility. And one of the craft of his governance is capacity to evolve, capacity to aspire. Secondly, multiple linking multiple departments, governmental agencies in one mission. So there are missions, and every ministry has to work with the missions. Earlier, ministries had no interaction. One ministry goes in this direction.
But there is something also which we have to really account for. Under Prime Minister Modi, first ideological commitments have been fulfilled. You have a temple in Ayodhya, uniform civil codes are being implemented by state, and Article 370 has been repeated. But most important is that BJP has been able to expand Brijesh in non-traditional areas. For example, they have a chief minister in Haryana. This time in the municipal bodies, though AAP has done well, BJP's tally has tripled. The local body polls that we covered. They have a chief minister in Bihar. They have repeated chief ministers in Assam. They have broken through in West Bengal. They have a government in Odisha. So I mean to say, and they are in power in a sharing mode in Andhra Pradesh. Yes, the Tamil Nadu project has not worked, but if you look at broadly, they are everywhere in India today.
Well, I would say, as the term goes, that Kashmir se Kanyakumari tak, not exactly literally, but figuratively, the footprints of Bharatiya Janata Party has expanded, and expanded how? I think right now, if you ask me, Kartikeya, they are literally at the apogee of their political expansion. States which were hitherto, BJP would have never thought that they would be able to break into, the dominance of Naveen Patnaik was absolute. And, I mean, honestly speaking, off record, even BJP planners were not that hopeful of the kind of mandate they got. In Odisha, it was one case. In West Bengal, it was another. And we also saw, how they broke away the traditional caste wisdom which have ruled the politics of Haryana also. Back to back, the third time it was the election was all but given to the Congress party, saying that they are going to win for sure. But, the BJP won its most significant victory and the biggest victory in Haryana on the third term. So yes, they have not only, entered into new area, but they have also literally consolidated their position in those states. The state of Uttar Pradesh, and also one of the big change of Bharatiya Janata Party was that a party which was earlier known as Brahman Baniya Party. I mean, the OBCization of the politics of this country, and especially in very crucial states like Uttar Pradesh and others.
That's a very good point you have. That's a very good point. That's a very good point you have made. Let me just share this with my viewers. That's a very good point. That's an excellent point. When during Jawaharlal Nehru's term, 57-62 representation for backward groups in the Council of Ministers was 3 to 4, scheduled caste, scheduled tribes 0, and other backward classes 0. Now under Prime Minister Modi, other backward classes 27, scheduled caste 10, and scheduled tribes 5, which means a significant numbers of ST, SCs and OBCs are now, Mr. Tiwari, part of the Council of Ministers.
Yeah, indeed. Actually, one thing you can observe, this kind of representation you can find in the government, in the Modi cabinet and the ministry. And also BJP under the PM Modi created a kind of class within the in the society, like beneficiary community has been emerged, that works beyond caste and communities. So every OBCs, marginals, and the Savarn, all the poor, those who got benefit from the government, they all voted to the BJP. So beyond this caste identity and the community, the religious identity, they have evolved another identity, that is the beneficiary identity, and that identity worked well in the various elections, and they have given, this identity has given excellent results to the BJP. And for that, to make that beneficiary identity, you need to have to do hard work, good planning, delivery, and that can create trust. And that PM Modi has acquired, because it's not only promises and the vadas or schemes, delivery, because people give votes on the delivery. And their aspirations age, and you have to constantly respond to their aspirations. Suppose that you have given them rice, and then you are not addressing their requirement of going to the Allahabad or Delhi to see the, or Ayodhya to see the temple. So they will, after some time, they will become digital. So PM Modi is giving pensions, various kinds of DBT supports, with rice, these all supports, and after that, various kinds of government social welfare plans. So at every stage, BJP under his leadership understand the changing aspirations of the people and respond to that by various kinds of the schemes and the policies. So that's the biggest contribution, because India is caste-based society, politics is still very caste-based. But you see the kind of votes BJP gets from all the castes, most of the castes and community votes to BJP.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Professor Tiwari. But Brijesh, you stay with me. To my viewers, this was on point 1. But in on point 2, we're going to talk about Annamalai's 2.0 poster that has sparked a political storm. The BJP says there is no resignation, no rift, no new party. But the suspense is not over, because tomorrow, which is Friday, Annamalai is going to have a heart-to-heart conversation. What is this conversation? Only Annamalai knows. Annamalai 2.0 poster sparked a political storm. The BJP says there is no resignation, no rift, no new party. But in Tamil Nadu politics, people are talking about him. Because after days of intense speculation about Annamalai's political future, Annamalai has broken his silence. Annamalai has said that on Friday at 12 p.m., I eagerly look forward to interacting with you all on social media to share my thoughts and have an open heart-to-heart conversation. Now, on the other hand, the Tamil Nadu BJP chief Naina Nagendran has sought to put the rumours to rest. Nagendran says he has not received any resignation letter from Annamalai and insists there are no differences between two leaders. The statement comes amid widespread reports of a possible